PHM. The draw cab gave a $50 donation to see PHM. This is PulteGroup Home Construction Company.
Okay, first off the dribble, guys. They are in one of the most booming real estate markets in history, second only to 2005, 2006. Oh, this is why we're going to be cautious with our analyzer. I want to look back at the shares because we now have data going back to 1987, I believe, on our stocks.
Tim, he's looking at you.
1987, I think, is our data going back now. So we're going to be able to look at how things went during the 06 crash. Okay, so $15 billion company, 10 PE, check mark, 13% profit margin, check mark. 2 check marks so far. Look at this adorable little dividend of 0.9%. Hey, Pulte, keep your effing money. $138 million they're paying out. 13% return on assets, pretty solid. Let's go to the income statement.
Revenue growth over the past 5 years.
7.87, 11.47. Check mark there.
Check, please.
Profit growth over the last 5 years.
Okay.
610 to 1.5. Check mark there.
Yep.
4 straight, baby. Shares outstanding. What do you think they're doing selling?
No, they're buying back. 318 down to 265. Check mark there. This is great, guys. So far, so good.
5 straight.
This is, by the way, I will be fully transparent. Home builders is the one that Mo and I have been like,
it's hard.
They scream value, but I have a hard time believing there are value plays in one of the most booming real estate markets in history. It's just hard for me to grasp that concept. But let's go to the next one, balance sheet.
We spent a lot of time on home builders back in the end of last year, just looking for, they do scream value, but I don't know.
$10 billion in current assets, 2.3 in current liabilities, total liabilities, 4.7. So they have $6 billion extra. Guys, they were so they're basically a $9 billion company because they're selling for $15 billion, but if you sell all their assets, pay off all their debt, it's basically a $9 billion company. Now, granted, those assets are inventory, which means they're houses. This is still good, though.
Are you saying we should shift the market cap down?
Yeah, we need to shift the market cap down to 10 or $11 billion from 15.
All right, I'll put it on the high side. Okay, great. Wow.
Free cash flow over the last
6 straight checks?
Yep, and
Free
make it
cash
7.
flow. Oh my Lord.
131 to 1.7 billion. That's a check mark. The average is about 900 million. Times 20 is $18 billion. Check mark there. These are all 8 checks, aren't they?
That was what we were seeing with pretty much all of the home builders, though.
Now
here's what we do.
Here's the question of all questions, Paul. Is people don't know how to translate, including myself at times, Mo. You know this. How do we translate? We found a company. All 8 checks are met. We've come up with a potential market cap of what, Paul?
Say 18 billion?
18 billion. We'd love to pay what we think 18 billion, and we have a
we'd love to pay that. Our multiple of 20 says we should pay $18 billion to the company.
So
go ahead.
Your question is, what do we do now?
Now what?
Now what?
Now what?
So we're still saying on these home builders, now what? This doesn't mean just go buy it and hope for the best. This means we don't know if these are actually 8 checks or they're just showing up because everything's looking good. Like, what you have to look at all the qualitative aspects. If you can go and understand this,
go ahead.
If you can go and understand this more, then you can do something with this. But for us, we weren't able to do that.
Look at this, guys. They peaked in 2006, $15 billion in revenue, and they bottomed out at $4.35 billion. That is a 70% decrease in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a big number. Go look at the profit.
So go back, Paul. Can you go back to that one? Is this where they were building all the houses that then people left out of and then they didn't?
Yeah, this is the bust of the real estate bust in 2000s.
Yeah, so they had 13 in 2007 building all the houses people couldn't afford, and then after they couldn't afford them, there was a surplus. Now they're not building.
No, this is not today.
I know. That's right after the fall.
So basically, bottom line is the fall happened. Their revenue fell 70%.
Got it. Just making sure.
So I'm just trying to explain. Now look at this. They did $15 billion in 2006. Last year they did 11.5. If I told you in 2006 that Pulte Homes would do $15 billion and then 15 years later they would do less, 20, 30% less, you'd have thought I was crazy. Mm-hmm. It happens. It absolutely does happen.
Yeah,
you okay there, Nate?
Yeah. Is he choking?
Look at all the rice on the ground. So just keep this in mind, guys, when you look at companies. This is my only apprehension about Pulte. Everything looks great from a number standpoint. Everything looks great.
Except if that falls to $4 billion in revenue.
I can't even tell you. I mean, this is insane. It's just like, so let's say.
What's their debt?
That's what I'm saying.
Wasn't their debt
Total
incredibly low?
That's what I'm saying. Total is 4.3 billion.
There's something not right.
Even if they sold half their inventory, look at their inventory costs. So guys, the thing that we usually do, we don't go into detail here. When you look at current assets, inventory is 8 billion of their 10 billion in current assets. Yeah. Cut that 8 billion in half. Say that their houses can only sell for $4 billion. They have to sell off quick. You still have 6 billion. You still have enough cash on hand to pay off all their debt.
Yeah, and it's consistent across all the home builders. This was the reason.
That's what worries me.
Yeah.
Such a booming business.
What are we
and
missing?
all of them do, what are we
missing?
That's a very...
That's what Nikon's saying, too good to be true, maybe?
I don't know.
We don't know. This could be true, but it just doesn't make sense that you have this little, it's crazy, this little debt.
If you love the software behind Paul, you can get it as being a part of our Patreon. You can join the Patreon. The link is in the description below, as always. It's patreon.com/everythingmoney. We, Paul, we said earlier in the video, we wanted 750 patrons was our major goal for this
725
this whole year, and we just hit well over 3,000 patrons. And if you look, our subscriber to patron ratio is absurd because we actually give you something more than a 1-hour Zoom chat, which you get with other Patreon pages. So the software is incredible.
This isn't support. You're not supporting us with Patreon.
That's right.
You're supporting yourself, and you're buying our software through Patreon. That's all you're doing.
Mo, are people trading? Pulte, what's going on over there?
I mean, these home builders are always great to trade because you always have this. You can run it up through the sweet spot and just go sideways for a really long time. Now they're in a downtrend right now. To me, I mean, these are really hard for me to go and say short something like this just because of the trajectory that we have seen. And we don't have housing. I mean, housing is still climbing. That's just a fact. So until we get a big turnaround, I don't think we're going to see anything drastic to the downside for Pulte. But just be patient with it. If I'm you, I'm waiting for an uptrend to capitalize on this one. I am not going to try to get cute and try to short Pulte unless you're doing it maybe from a swing trading perspective or a 15-minute perspective. But long term, I do not think it's the best play. That's just my personal opinion. But have at it if you want to. Just make sure you're using stops.
Thanks so much for watching the video. We hope you were intrigued. If this style of investing speaks to you, click the link below to join our Patreon. As a patron, you get access to a wonderful community of like-minded investors where you can chat, connect, ask questions, and share ideas with badasses like you all over the world. The best part is you get the amazing Everything Money software. This is revolutionary, unlike any YouTube page. You can track your investments, look at stocks, and quickly run our 8-pillar analysis on any company you like. The top tier patrons get direct access to Paul and Trader Mo. You'll see their daily trades, their updated portfolios, and every options contract they write on a daily basis. We provide Patreon exclusive videos just for you, including live streams and exclusive content from our team. Our bottom patron tiers fill fast, so join today. But hey, if you don't believe me, look at all of our patrons' amazing success stories. In comparison to other financial platforms, our software is by far the best value. This is your chance to get serious about investing. If you're finally ready to level up your investing game, join our Patreon and let's start kicking ass together.